Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories mixed with Am I the Arsehole as well. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Now today's first story comes from Florida Dream and Such. I believe I got that right. Would I be the arsehole if I go on a friend's birthday getaway, even if my girlfriend isn't invited? So Jess was my girlfriend's friend first, and they've known each other a lot longer than I've known Jess, which is why my girlfriend is upset. However, in the 2 years my girlfriend and I have been together, Jess and I have also become pretty great friends. We play video games together basically daily and usually hang out in real life together or with a group like 3 to 5 times a month. So for Jess's birthday, she only wanted to bring along a small group of her closest friends, and it's going to be a 4-day vacation at her parents' summer home. The plan is to do a ton of fun stuff: Disney, snorkeling, boat rides, etc. She invited her brother, me, and 3 girls from her and my girlfriend's friend group. I was kinda surprised that she considered me to be one of her closest friends, but I guess it sorta makes sense when you consider that we technically spend a ton of time together, just shooting the shit if you count just idling in Discord calls while playing video games. My girlfriend has felt pretty snubbed about not being invited, especially since I was. I know that you're supposed to listen with empathy, validate your partner's feelings and do all that good stuff, so I did. I said it was completely reasonable to feel hurt that you were being excluded. However, she thinks it's obvious that I can't go to her own friend's birthday without her, and I don't think that's reasonable at all. I feel like her friendship with Jess and my friendship with Jess are separate things, and I'm just going to one of my friend's birthdays that she's not invited to, which is reasonable. We've been arguing about this for a while now without making progress, and I really think I should be able to go and that I'd be missing out on a very fun time if I didn't. Would I be the arsehole if I went? And we're going to start straight away with Twilly93 on this one, who says, I could obviously be wrong, but it sounds like Jess might think of you as more than just a friend and is using this to see where you stand. So you need to think about what matters more to you, your girlfriend or Jess. Edited to add, you're the arsehole, big time. Momo of the Wild says you would be the arsehole if you go. This is crossing a major line. Jess invited her brother, 3 female friends and you. She wants more than a friendship and you know. So if you want a new girlfriend, go. If you want to keep the one you have, stay. Jess knows what she is doing, and unless you're being stupid, so do you. You sound immature and selfish. Educated Vegetable replies that saying, agreed, this is a major snub to the girlfriend. I wouldn't dream of inviting one part of a couple and excluding the other if I considered them both to be my friend. Also, I wouldn't have very much fun on a 4-day trip without my SO, especially knowing that they are sitting at home, knowing I'm with a mutual friend of the opposite sex they have become very close to. See how Brian 1972 says everyone sucks here. It was wrong of Jess to put you both in this position. Now if she invites your girlfriend, she might consider it a pity invite. You even said you were surprised to be included, as a close friend. Yes, your friendship to Jess is different, but Jess has put a wedge in that relationship for some reason. It sounds like you should review some of your past conversations with Jess to see if anything was missed. YSK says, is Jess more attractive than your girlfriend? OP replies, to me, no, not close really. To other people, well, it depends on who you ask and their preferences. My girlfriend's kind of skinny and pretty petite. Some people might not like that, but I find her really attractive, so it's a beauty in the eye of the beholder kind of situation. And one more from Neeks Knows Best says, so this girl is trying to drive a wedge between you and your girlfriend, and you're gonna let her since your friendship with her is totally separate from your girlfriend's friendship with her. Like, it's bad enough that she is disrespecting your relationship, but it's much, much, much worse that you are disrespecting your relationship and also your girlfriend's feelings. This chick knows exactly what she's doing, and she knows no truly loyal boyfriend would ever take this bait, and that if you do, there is no coming back from it in your girlfriend's heart or in your relationship, and that you're playing right into that, so do it if that's what you want. Just understand there's consequences. And you're the arsehole because your girlfriend doesn't just deserve a boyfriend who responds with empathy, she deserves one who feels actual empathy towards her, the way all these internet strangers do. And you obviously do not. But I find this whole situation very weird to me. You said that Jess was your girlfriend's friend first, but obviously you've grown quite close to Jess in playing video games and talking over Discord and whatever you guys do. But I find it very strange still that, Jess just invited you, knowing, it would be a snub to your girlfriend. Whether I think Jess is actually trying something on with OP, I'm not sure, but it still feels very weird that Jess would go down this path and invite him one half of the couple along. Because if I was in Jess's position and I was inviting friends along, I would certainly sit back and think, oh, they're both my friends, maybe one's more of a friend than the other, but if I invite one, surely that's going to make the other one feel like absolute shit. So I do wonder if there is something missing in there, why Jess doesn't get along with the other half of the couple. Is she maybe trying something on with OP? But it all does strike me as very odd. But we're going to go to the update to find out what happened next. So the update starts off, given that everyone said my relationship wouldn't survive me going and that I'd be disregarding my girlfriend's feelings if I still went, I decided that I'd like to stay in my relationship, at least for now, and chose to drop the subject and apologise to my girlfriend for making her feel like I was going along with her being excluded by her friend group. She was still a bit mad at me because she felt like I wasn't on her side from the beginning, but thanked me for at least not going against her wishes. In my last post, everyone decided that Jess had just been making a move on me. I found that frustrating because that's not how I, my girlfriend or anyone else views this situation. Usually this isn't something you mention unless it's absolutely relevant to the discussion, but I think it is here, as people seem to be missing some subtext on why my girlfriend doesn't think Jess is making a move on me and clutching her pearls. Jess was assigned male at birth, so my girlfriend holds the very problematic, unstated view that I can be trusted more around Jess, and doesn't not see getting invited as a move against our relationship. We've discussed it at length, and the issue my girlfriend and I were fighting about isn't the idea that I'm going to Florida to fuck Jess. I'd be a lot more understanding if that was her issue. My girlfriend thinks it's unfair that I get to go on a trip with people she considers to be her friends, while she sulks at home and has to watch us having fun on Instagram. That's the crux of the issue, not Jess trying to steal me away from my girlfriend. Even without the problematic social subtext here that says someone like me wouldn't be interested in Jess just because of her identity, which is not true. It's a simple fact that she doesn't like me individually, and I'm not romantically interested in her as an individual at all. We're friends, that's it. I know it, my girlfriend knows, Jess knows it, everyone in our social circle knows it. It's not even her snubbing my girlfriend in particular. I asked Jess about it in more detail, and the reason she didn't invite my girlfriend and the rest of the people in their friend group is because she thought it'd be strange as fuck to say that you're paying for 4 of your friends, but the rest of them have to pay their own way and find somewhere else to sleep. None of us are capable of paying for any of this stuff without our parents. Jess didn't invite my girlfriend because she doesn't, FW, Urban Dictionary says that's fuck with, my girlfriend like that anymore to pay for her and knew she couldn't afford to go on her own regardless. Still, I feel like my girlfriend's possessiveness of her friend group is somewhat immature. Friends shift apart and social circles realign over time. It's pretty upsetting to me that I can't go to one of my best friend's birthday because my girlfriend knew them first and she's not invited. If my girlfriend were to ask that I cut ties with Jess because of this saga, I really can't see myself doing that. And I honestly, from what I've just read in that bit, I can't see this relationship lasting too much longer the way OP spoke then. I mean, in the second line, they decided to stay in this relationship, at least for now, and then went on a whole sort of tangent which sounded like full of resentment in some ways to me. But what do you guys make of this one? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and what would you do in that situation if you was in OP's position? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. So our next story comes from GermanCat34, who says, am I the arsehole for leaving my boyfriend on the side of the road? I, 26 female, and my boyfriend Nick, 27 male, have been dating for almost a year. And something that has always bothered me is how Nick does not believe in maintaining or taking care of his vehicles. Background. To give some context, Nick bought his car brand new about 5 years ago and has put about 70,000 miles on the vehicle. Since purchasing the vehicle, he has never had an oil change, nor does he do any kind of regular maintenance. I would like to clarify by Nick's refusal to maintain his vehicle is not due to any kind of financial insecurity. Nick has an incredible job that pays him very fairly. As a hobby and a side job, I like to restore vehicles for profit. I am by no means a mechanic. I mostly clean up the vehicles, do bodywork and paint restoration. However, I do have a pretty fundamental understanding of cars and I know how to do the basics. Story. Nick called me yesterday on my day off and told me he was about 10 minutes from my house and that he had a flat tire and asked if I could come help him out. I grabbed my tool bag and headed out. When I got there, Nick did not only have a flat tire, but his front left rotor was cracked. Rotor is a part of the car's brakes, and his rim was bent to hell. I was telling Nick that his car was undrivable and that he needed to call a tow. Nick started arguing with me, telling me that it was just a flat tire and that it was not a big deal. I tried showing Nick how bad the damage was, but he insisted I was overreacting and that he just needed me to change the tire. I refused, and in Nick's own words, I started mothering him on how poorly he takes care of his car. The argument got heated and Nick lashed out at me and started saying things like, just because you have a set of pink tools and watch YouTube doesn't make you a fucking mechanic. After Nick said this, I started packing up my tools and told him that he was right. I'm not a mechanic, but that he should probably call one because I'm not changing his tire. I left Nick on the side of the road and he refuses to talk to me until I apologise for abandoning him. Am I the arsehole? Look, now, it's obvious you're not going to be the arsehole in this situation. I mean, you went out to help someone and someone that gave you shit for you giving them decent, solid advice. And I don't think I'll ever truly understand how people think like this, you know, that they've asked someone for help, they come out to help them, and then you give them a load of shit. On what planet do you think that's ever going to work well for you? You tried showing him how bad the damage was and then he just got all offended by it and said you're criticizing for how poorly he takes care of his car. I mean, 70,000 and hasn't changed the oil. Holy moly, what a dingus. But Begalia says, not the arsehole, he has a lot of nerve. Picking a fight with someone he called for help. Dragon Cecilia says sadly his reaction isn't uncommon. If anything, I'm a bit surprised he called her for help. It was probably a hit to his ego though, so he took it out on her. I've been there and OP deserves better. OP, as a fellow woman who loves cars, I ask you to strongly consider what you want out of your relationship. Your knowledge of cars and how it helped you bond with his father is a breeding ground for resentment. I can't tell you how many times women of all ages said how guys must love my passion for cars and how eligible suitors must be lining up. Whenever any guy a bit older than me found out I did work on cars myself, more often than not, they'd ask if my father didn't have a son. You know, since the only way we would get into cars if our father forced it on us. Both versions reinforce that cars are man's domain. Cars are still strongly common thought of as something guys intrinsically know. If they don't, some arsehole will give them shit. If they have a girlfriend that knows her way around cars, now the arseholes will say he must be the girl in the relationship, needing help like a damsel in distress. As much as I wish it didn't. That kind of thing can get to some guys. All too often, they end up taking it out on the relationship. OP, you deserve someone who will see your skills as a wonderful piece of who you are, as a whole. I got lucky and married a master tech I first met when he joined the car club my friends and I started. He loved telling his co-workers I love cars even more than him. I'm not saying that you should have someone in the car industry. I think you should have someone that will happily speak highly of your skills though. Tim O'Bedlam says not the arsehole, he's put 70,000 miles on his car and has never changed the oil. What the fuck? I'm amazed the car still runs. If you like to work on cars, then you won't want to be with someone that's that cavalier about car repair and maintenance, and that's unforgivable of him to insult you like that with the pink tools comment. I think it's time to leave the boyfriend and not just his car by the side of the road. The Jagged says, so to summarize, your boyfriend asked for your help. You offered help, informed him of the seriousness of the problem. Boyfriend didn't like your answer, told you what to do even though you knew better. This became heated, your boyfriend was extremely offensive, you rightly left him. I'll be blunt, your boyfriend seriously sucks. To blow up over this is a big red flag. You are not the arsehole. Good luck with your car hobby though, sounds awesome. Do you ever get your hands on classics? And I will roll my eyes, ask a question and says not the arsehole, and yikes, if he won't maintain a high-end purchase, how does he treat his home? He has made fun of your car knowledge, yelled at you for making an accurate statement about his broken car, and demanded an apology, none of which you deserved. Is this how he normally responds in stressful situations? To which OP replies saying, I'm going to answer your question with way more detail than you asked for. I was raised by a single mum. I never had a father figure growing up. When something would break in our house, I would teach myself how to fix it, and my mother always encouraged me to chase how mechanically inclined I was. After I met Nick's parents, me and his father really bonded over our love for cars and our love for fixing them. Every time I would go over to Nick's parents' house, me and his father would inevitably end up in the garage tinkering. Nick has always been insecure about how quickly me and his father developed a relationship. Nick obviously is not very mechanically inclined and has never showed any interest in cars. The relationship I have with Nick's father has been a sore spot in our relationship for a long time, and I think is why Nick lashed out the other day. Now, I'm going to turn this story to you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now, this next story comes from Substantial Drag 471, who says, Am I the arsehole for making a joke and making it uncomfortable when mother-in-law left our wedding super early? Mother-in-law was supposed to come to our wedding with her fiance, Brad. But a few weeks before the wedding, Brad and my husband got into an insane fight. I never seen my husband act like that. We were actually kicked out of a restaurant, which was mortifying, and unforgivable things were said on both sides. This whole fight started over who was going to pay for dinner on mother-in-law's birthday. Both offered to pay. This fight was so bad that honestly I don't ever want to see Brad again. He is banned from our house. We are banned from theirs. Mother-in-law texts my husband that she still loves him and will be there for his wedding if he wants her, but she doesn't see them having much of a relationship ever again. Because of the severity of this fight, we agreed that she could bring a friend as her +1. I expected them to leave somewhat early because mother-in-law wouldn't know many people there and isn't a social person, and her friend despises my parents, but I was surprised when they tried to leave right after the ceremony. I found this extremely rude, as we had paid for dinner per person, and I was always taught that you don't leave a wedding until the cake cutting. My husband pointed that out, but mother-in-law said that she just felt weird and wanted to go home to Brad. Her friend laughed and said mother-in-law was a liar and she wanted to go to someone's birthday party. My husband was like, fine, do whatever. I made a joke that we paid a lot of money for dinner and maybe I would send her a tab. Mother-in-law looked pretty upset and stormed off. My husband said it was the wrong time to joke and came off as tacky because she wasn't obligated to eat dinner. Mother-in-law sent him a long, angsty text, not a usual style at all, about how I was being a bitch and she was extremely uncomfortable being there. She realized she had made a mistake and I should let her leave without caring about money. She said we're invalidating her feelings because, of course, she didn't want to go to a birthday party, though social media proves she did go, and it was very hard for her to be there because she is still so angry over the right. Now, Ill Divide says, so the guys turned who pays for dinner into a battle royale, huh? I don't know what could have possibly been said in an argument that is permanently unforgivable. We all have relatives and in-laws we dread being around, but she did come to the wedding. She came and there is no point in doubling down on the dinner/cake item in order to take the credit away from her. Sounds like there is some underlying issues here and you are a full partner in the provocations. You should all grow up. Life is short. Our kid says both families are like school during summer. No class. Everyone sucks here. Financial Coast says in quotes, I was always taught that you don't leave a wedding until the cake cutting, and then says, translation for I'm an a-hole. Seriously, anyone can leave a wedding whenever the hell they want without it being rude. Grow up. By the way, you're the arsehole. MMJ says everyone sucks here. I make jokes too when I'm uncomfortable and/or angry to try and diffuse the awkwardness and tension, so I get it. I put my foot in my mouth plenty of times. Your mother-in-law sucks because she didn't want to see her son get married and showed through her actions how much she cared about this life-changing moment for him. Also, for choosing a man over a son. Really though, some detail into the fight would be helpful on clarifying the situation. Seems unusual for a fight to escalate to the length that this one has, as far as family ties being broken, over who's going to pay for dinner. OP replies saying mother-in-law had been having issues with my husband for a couple of years due to her hatred of me. They were so close and now it's really tense. When they started getting heated over the check, Brad said, "Your mum doesn't want or need anything from you," and that just triggered my husband. It got really nasty from there, bringing up Brad's past from like 15 years ago, calling my husband a failure and belittling his career, insulting each other's partners. And one more from Embarrassed Board, who says, "You're the arsehole. I'm curious the thought process that made you think bringing up money, the cause of the split to begin with, would settle tensions down. Could you have picked a worse topic?" Maybe don't answer that. Now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. Whoa, to explode at dinner like that, arguing over who's going to pay the bill and escalating from there. Clearly there's other stuff going on in the background, but what do you guys make of this one? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, as always, a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, support, and time always means the absolute world to me, and you change things on the daily. So thank you so much for what you do, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today